Now, ladies and gentlemen, I made a video around a year ago, very similar to this one, talking about how Counter-Strike Global Offensive has its own stock market. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is cases. Some you can hold for a very long term that we would talk about in today's video, up to 5 years, and you pretty much have to sit on those. You won't really be able to make a decent amount of money anyway, unless they're removed from the main primary drop pool, which a lot of these already have been, and now we're just waiting for those to get a return on their investment. There's other cases like the glove case, for an example, where you can day trade with this thing, buy it at $1.50, $1.60, even $1.90, quick flip it for $2.50 on the same day, buy it on a third-party website, add it onto Steam because they fluctuate so much in price. And cases also have the biggest quantity out of anything on the market in general, especially for CSGO. It's very different than skins and then a play skin investment. Closest thing I would say to cases is stickers, but even then the quantity doesn't even match how many cases there are in the market and how many get opened and used every single day. And I want to quickly note and talk about the FOMOing of the market as of right now for Counter-Strike Global Offensive, because I've been seeing this a lot recently, and I've wanted to make this on its own video, but I think for the next few videos, we're gonna have to talk about this at the beginning. Skin prices are just really expensive right now. Not really expensive, they're not inflated, it's just how the market's going. But these things are just expensive, and sooner or later, they'll go back down to how they were before, or something very close to that. That's not necessarily cases. Some cases are very expensive, yes. We've seen this with the Op Asimov and the Phoenix case. The Phoenix case has risen up in price about 30 to 40 cents due to, obviously, the Op Asimov going from $60 to about 120, 125. So that has an example. That's its own thing. But a lot of the Stockholm stuff is going up as of right now, and people are just being idiots about it, buying into these capsules at 28, 30 to 38 cents at right now at this given point in time, when you had the opportunity to, for over a month, to buy these capsules on sale for 75% off at 25 cents. So now, with that cleared out of the way, let's hop into the main core of the video. So the great thing about cases, I would say, compared to a lot of other things, kind of like the stock market, we're gonna make some similarities to this, is there's lots of options. With that, obviously, the safest investments are going to be the most expensive, but the most profitable ones are not always going to be the most expensive. And year by year, we get new cases that come out every single year. Some years we get more than others. The past couple years we've gotten 4, 5 years we've gotten 3, 2. The first year cases came out, we got 4. Back in the Arms Deal 2 update. And with the growing population playing CS every single day, last month we saw the first month since 2020 where we saw a growth in player base of 10,000 in 1 month, which is very good. And there's a lot of bot accounts nowadays botting these new cases that come out, essentially just farming them, putting them in their inventory. And with that, they're going to be harder to make an investment on because there's more people playing, more people unboxing things, and more people that have money in CSGO. They also drop a lot longer, it feels like nowadays, more than ever. Like the Danger Zone case dropped for almost 4 years at this given point in time, 3 and a little bit, which was just absolutely crazy. And this is going to be our first main section of the video explaining these cases and the levels and the tiers of the cases on the market and what kind of an investment they mean and what they are. So the first section I want to talk about is the cheaper than dirt section. So these are going to range from 3 to 8 cents, and the first one being the Danger Zone case. Now, I don't recommend really investing into any of these, but if you are investing into the cheaper than dirt cases, you're going to have to hold these and pretty much just forget about them for 4 or 5 years. That's kind of how these cases go for a lot of people. The same situation goes with RMR. If you're holding RMR stuff, you're just going to put that in a storage unit or a storage container or a Steam account and just forget about it for the next few years and just not look back on it. The same thing with these cases. You'll see the biggest return and the best return if you do that specifically. Obviously, you're going to see some spikes where if you want to go really in depth and you want to sell 1,600 cases to make 8 cents, that's a whole lot of confirmations. That's going to take a couple hours. Obviously, you can list them all at once, but once again, it's those confirmations that take a lot longer. And just to make 8 cents on each case, that's a lot for some people. Most of the time, it's probably not worth it. Also with Steam fees and Steam taxes, with 15% on Steam. And with things like the Danger Zone case, you were able to get this a little while ago for 3, even 1 cent on the Steam market with buy orders when these things were cheaper than dirt. That's why it's called in this section cheaper than dirt. And now people are buying them for 8 to 10 cents, and they got jumped all the way to 14 cents at one given point in time a little while ago because people were making YouTube videos, not anyone specific, but how the market is exploding, and it's really exploding, how everything's exploding, including the Danger Zone case, which is actually exploding. No pun intended. Here we are back at 7 cents, and we see the Fracture case in the horizon, as well as the Prisma in this section. These aren't the best cases inside of CSGO. The first case I actually want to look at is the Fracture case. Now, the Fracture case actually has a decent amount going for it as of right now. One thing I think could help it in the future is the M4A4 Tooth Fairy. Now, it's not the most expensive and not the best looking M4A4 skin in the future, and as of right now, it's not either. But I think in the future, this thing could grow up in price once the M4A4 gets buffed one day, whenever that is, whenever it is superior tier once again than the M4A1S, or at least it's on par, because Valve goes back and forth with these all the time. And obviously you have the Deagle print stream, which the Deagle recently received a nerf at the beginning of Operation Riptide, and that caused the price of these things to go down quite a bit. And I was suggesting for a long time to pick these up while they were hot. And once again, they are hot once again, which is very, very good. The price almost fell for a lot of these things, almost 50% for some individual skins. Now, the Legion of Anubis, it's a decent looking skin, not the best, not the strongest. And then I think where this case shines the most is obviously the knives. You have the Nomad knives and the Shattered Web knives specifically, which really, really hold it together, which is awesome. I'm not a huge fan of these individual knives in CS, but they are pretty rare. And the paracord ones and most of these knives in general, you can only find these in the Fracture case as well as the Shattered Web case, which is pretty interesting as well. And I think it's going to be about time we see most likely Shattered Web knives have chroma finishes in the next year. So that's why this case is a little shaky of an investment right now, especially for a lot of people, because most likely if we get another chroma case, or at least chroma finishes with these newer knives, we're going to see this case anyway take a lot longer to return, because the newer case with the chroma finishes, we're most likely going to see the vanilla, the fade, the slaughter with that on the newer knives as well, which will take a lot longer to make an investment on this case. And that means the only thing really holding it together would be the skins. And even then, it's not that bad, but you're going to want to wait on this case anyway for a very long time. Now for the Horizon case specifically, you have the Prisma knives, which I am not a fan of. The Prisma cases as well as the Horizon case are some of the worst cases in the game. That's just my personal opinion. I think the skins in this case are what's holding it together right now. I think the reason we've seen a Horizon case jump is obviously because of the M4A1S Nightmare. It's actually a pretty good looking skin, and the skins in it are actually pretty good. We see the Paw, which is pretty used. I think we just see some very individual, really good looking skins. We have the CZ Eco, or Echo, whatever you want to call it, most likely Eco. This is for the Galil. It's a really good looking skin. It goes really well on the CZ. The Deagle code red obviously went back up since the Deagle nerf. People are just seeing that the Deagle is still usable. And of course the Neon Rider. This thing is growing up in price a lot as of recently. This case also isn't unboxed a whole lot, which is pretty good as well, at least compared to the other cases on this list. So this case doesn't really have a lot going for it besides the skins. I think the knives are okay, but once again, they're in so many other cases that it's kind of hard to make a decent bet your money on them for the future. And obviously you see the Prisma and the Prisma 2. The Prisma case itself has the M4A4 Emperor and obviously has the Angry Mob 5.7. Those are decent, but I would say the only thing holding these cases together right now is the chroma finishes on these knives, on the Prisma knives, like the Ursus knife and whatnot, which is pretty good, but they're only in 2 cases, right? And I would assume these are most likely probably going to get added to another case in the future, but that probably won't be for a little while, because I think the next case we're going to receive is the chroma finishes on the Shattered Web knives, which would be pretty cool as well. And obviously for the Prisma 2, you obviously have the A1S, Player 2, and you have the Bullet Queen, and the other skins aren't really that great right now anyway. And the knives are the same situation. It's kind of why those cases are really cheap. They have either one thing holding them together. Some things aren't really getting held together at all for those individual cases. Kind of like the Danger Zone. The knives are just not very good. The skins aren't very good. And they also have all been unboxed a load. And I mean a load. Because they're so cheap, it's the first thing people will want to pick up if they want to unbox a case, right? Now, the next big section in case investing is the clutch case. I think this is a very popular option right now because it's not cheaper than dirt and it's not really, really expensive, and it's also decently rare. But the only problem with the clutch case I see is we could receive the clutch case gloves once again in the future. Is that going to happen? Most likely not, but that is a possibility. We could receive a clutch case too, or something very similar to that in the future, because Valve likes to re-release stuff. Obviously, you have Snakebite, Broken Fang, and just many other situations, obviously Dreams and Nightmares and Riptide as well, with the knives being and the golds being added to the next case for a very cheaper cost. Which case golds are actually really, really good. You can get the Vice gloves, and this is the only case where you can get the Vice gloves in. That's part of the reason they're so expensive and so rare. And one of the pros to it is obviously this is still in the active drop pool for cases. And once this is removed, there's usually a big FOMO day of when this happens. So you saw it with the Danger Zone, you saw it with other cases as well in the past. The thing is with the clutch case is when this gets removed, people are hoping that this will jump to like 30-35 cents on the first couple days. The only problem with that is obviously the quantity being over 500,000 just alone on the Steam market, which is very, very high. Once again, you have those golds holding it together, and I think the reds are holding it together as well. Obviously, the M4A4 Neo Noir, not right now, is very expensive, but I think in the future that can be decent as well. And then the Chroma cases, I mean, there's not really much to talk about for the Chroma cases. You have the original knives for CSGO for like the M9 bayonet Dopplers, all the old cool old finishes for CSGO. And Chroma 3 right now is on the rise and also is a very good investment. It's kind of in the middle as of right here for middle tier investment into CS. At 28 cents, 71,000 quantity in the market. This thing is a cheap way to unbox the Chroma knives in CS for the older knives, which is very, very good. Obviously, the reds aren't really what you're going for if you're most likely going to unbox this case. Very similar to the next case we're talking about on this list is the revolver case. So the thing that's really going great about the revolver case as of right now, and the reason it's being held together and people are liking it as an investment, and you've seen a big spike up from like 6 to 7 cents to 15 cents, it's the last case essentially to unbox really old knives in CSGO with the old finishes, which is really, really nice. And it's also 15 cents compared to some other cases where it's going to cost a minimum of like $1 to $3 to unbox that case to try and get that gold. In this case, it's very, very cheap. And it also has the revolver fade, which if the revolver ever does get buffed one day, or at least gets on par with the Desert Eagle, so you could use both in game and not really have to think twice about it. There's pros and cons about both. Or let's just say people start using the R8. I think you will start seeing this skin go up a lot, and with that, you'll see the case go up. Very similar, on a shorter scale, but you'll see it maybe happen with like very similar to the Broken Fang case, where the M4A1S print stream and the M4A1S got used a lot more and more. With that, the Broken Fang case went up because of the print stream. We could see this go to 40 cents, 50 cents if that were to happen like the next day after this video is posted, for an example. Not saying it will, but that's also a possibility. And I would say the second middle part, anyway, with the clutch, chroma, and revolver, as well as the Spectrum cases, are good runner-ups to throw in there. The Spectrum knives are absolutely beautiful, some people's favorites in the game. People wanted these forever. Essentially the chroma finishes on like butterfly knives, the shadow daggers, as well as the Bowie knife. Also has very good skins, at least the first Spectrum case being the AK Bloodsport and USPS Neo Noir. And 66 cents on Steam is not the worst investment. That's why I'm kind of putting it in the middle to the higher tier of things. That's why I'm putting it also last on this list, because I think it should be at last of your priorities if you're investing into the middle tier, or at least using this as a base example. Once again, the bottom tier cases, those are like a 5-year hold. You buy them, you put them in a storage unit, and you just don't think about them for 4 or 5 years. The middle section is where you could, look at updates in CS, see what's not dropping. If there's a big market hype or a summer hype, that's when you'll want to sell these. If there's a buff and nerf with some individual weapons, in this case, such as the revolver case, that's when you'll want to sell it, buy some back in the future when they're a lot cheaper. And then for the last part, you have the crutch cases, where some of these you can day trade, and I guess you could put this into its own section as of right now, the day trading part of things, like the glove case. And it's kind of any case in CS. A lot of cases on the market fluctuate in price quite a bit, but nothing like the glove case. I mean, the glove case literally can go from sometimes under 90 cents to over $2.50 in the same week, which is just absolutely crazy for an individual item, let alone a day. It can go from $1 to $2.10, or even $2.15, even $2.20 in the matter of a same day if people are just going absolutely crazy about it. Like right now, it's $1.93. People are buying these at $2.15 right now, $2.20. You can still make some profit with that as of right now if you want to day trade with that, let alone you can buy it on third-party websites for even cheaper than $1.93. Wait a couple hours until the market goes back up to, it's like $2.20, $2.30, and then sell it at that given point in time. And then with the summer hype with this thing we saw last year, I mean, it was just absolutely crazy. At almost pushing $3. And I mean, people who bought these underneath $1 a few weeks ago and last year, you made some absolute bank and will making bank in the future. And let alone, besides the Hydra case, which is like $12 at this given point in time, it's the only way to get the original glove case gloves, which are absolutely amazing. Let alone the skins in these cases are actually pretty good. The Hydra case anyway, not so much this case. I think they're okay. They're not great though. And then for the crutch cases, the glove case, the breakout case, Gamma, and the Hydra case. And obviously there's all the other ones like the Bravo and stuff like that are never really going to go down in price a whole lot with market crashes. Like they're going to go down, but not like crazy amounts. And they're always essentially going to go up because they're always going to be rare. The breakout case has the old butterfly knives, and people are always going to want those, like a butterfly knife Fade, a butterfly knife Slaughter. Obviously you have the Gamma Dopplers, which are very extremely rare at this given point in time because not a lot of people unboxed them back in the day. So you're seeing M9 Gamma Dopplers, with the very good phase that has a lot of green on it, go for over $1,000. That's not even an emerald. And the Hydra case is very expensive. There's not a whole lot of quantity of them, and the skins in them are actually very good. On top of the case itself, you can get the glove case 1 gloves, which is very good. Let me know what you guys think of these individual tiers. Do you guys agree? Do you guys disagree? Which tier do you guys invest in the most? Which tier do you like the most? Me personally, I like the crutch ones. I think it's just well off, and you're probably better off, for a lot of people anyway, putting your money into these. They'll automatically go up over time. It's again, a big part that plays into all of this is buying at the right time as well. Right now, for a lot of these items, it's not the greatest time. And very similar to other things, like obviously you have the PGO major stuff. People are buying these and FOMOing, and with stickers and skins, people are just buying these things at stupid prices. Like Desert Eagles, because they're going back up. People are making videos on the Desert Eagle Blaze going up and back in price. Same with the M4A1S. And I'm just like, you had 6 months to invest in these things. And it's kind of similar to cases as well, very similar to the Danger Zone. So you got to pick and choose your battles. And make sure you sell at the right time as well. If you've made a lot of profit and you feel safe with your investment and you feel like you should cash out, cash out. Never be worried about what kind of profit you could make, and just make the profit. That's what I've learned with investing in a CS. Sometimes you just got to do it. You can't really look back, because if you do that, you could lose everything and lose it all. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Stay positive, stay sexy. If you guys like these kind of videos, let me know for future reference. Love to make more videos like this. Have a good day, guys. I'm out. Peace.